Well, greetings and hello, everyone. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and welcome back to the Teacup for One Oscar Movie Marathon. Just when you think you're out, they drag you back in again. The Oscars may have happened, but we still have to talk about them. Because after weeks of coming together here on the channel, usually Wednesday nights and one odd Thursday night, to discuss Oscar contending movies, now we know what won. We know what didn't win. We know the snubs. We know the chaotic moments that happened at the Oscars. So we're going to be bringing together some of our favorite panelists tonight to just do a quick debrief over that wonderful ceremony, the 96th Annual Academy Awards. I had a great time. It was the best Oscar party I've ever thrown for myself. But we'll get into that. Let's bring in our first guests for this evening. You know them. You love them. One of them's a cat. One of them is Ben. Here we go. It's Ben, everybody.
Hey, Matt, glad to be back to debrief about the 96th Annual Academy Awards.
I'm glad to have you, Ben, and Abby. Oh, speaking of cats, my cats are here too. I forgot to give a shout out. Sabrina watched some of the Oscars. Sabrina, would you be friends with Abby? Of course you would.
I hope
and
so.
Was her favorite. Eliza watched the whole thing. Her favorite part was the dog. Let's see. Martha's favorite was the Ken dance. I think it was for most people. And Alex is what? Alex, what are you saying? You heard of crunk, you're gonna get all clearly what? Where are you, Alex? Alex is supposed to be here with us. I'm gonna check in to see if he has the link. But Ben, what was your favorite part of the Oscars? Or actually, no, we'll get into that. Opening question.
Sure.
If and when you win your Oscar, who is the unconventional person you are going to thank the way that Dave Vine thanked her publicist?
Oh, wow. That's such a good question. You know, Matt, I think that I would thank our favorite Romanian film professor, Teresa Barta. Thank you, Teresa, for teaching me, as she once proclaimed to me at a meeting for my third-year student film, that humor is suffering. I never forgot that. So I would thank her for teaching me that.
I think of that every time I'm really stressed out, is that look how funny this would be to Teresa.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to look at it.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember, and part of that was when we were watching Keyboard Cat. I was going to say when we watched Before the Rain, but I only thought of that because I made my own Keyboard Cat video.
You did, which is still on YouTube, I think. It's one of my favorite YouTube videos.
Is it really? Do you watch it?
Yeah.
On a, like, somewhat
Sometimes I revisit it. So yeah, we had a whole class where at the time the Keyboard Cat meme had become a thing on YouTube, with that guy had that, I think it was like the 80s or something, and he filmed his cat playing the piano. And and we loved it, and we showed it to our very pretty serious Romanian film professor. And we had a whole discussion about it. I remember, about memes and why it's funny and everything. And then you cut it into one of the films that we had to watch for class in a very serious moment of a cat walking on a roof. That's all I'll say about that.
Shot down by a bunch of machine guns.
That's right. That's what happened. And we had Keyboard Cat underscoring it. Yeah, amazing memories.
It was, what a good time. What a good time.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of a good time, let's bring in our next friend. You know her, you love her. It's Jeanette, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Jeanette, who would you thank, or who will you thank when you win your Oscar? That's unconventional.
Unconventional. So I was thinking, who has given me, I started thinking like Ben, because I couldn't think of anybody. And I'm like, oh, who's given me good advice? Like one-liner, kind of slightly hilarious, possibly in an accent advice. And I thought of this one Russian girl that I used to exotic dance with, and we came down on the elevator together one night, and the doors opened, and she went, "This is bullshit," and got back on the elevator and went upstairs. And I was like, that's taught me to not put up with anything. Like, if it's not right, don't do it. So yeah, that would be my piece of advice person.
I love this. I love how both of these are like pieces of advice from Eastern European folk.
Don't take no flack. Don't put up with it.
Speaking of Eastern European people that we love, let's bring in our next guest. It's Alex Titai, everyone.
Hey.
So. Oh, you look unimpressed.
I am unimpressed, Matt.
Why is that?
There's been a pattern of disrespect occurring on this stream. You've been consistently disrespectful of my time, and I'm unimpressed by it. What can I say?
It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you.
In that way.
I
Yes.
feel better.
Thank you. Alex, who will you thank that's unconventional when you win your Oscar? So I know you didn't watch the Oscars. One of the
How do you know? You don't know anything.
You were busy. You were at a rehearsal.
You know I didn't watch it live.
Oh, okay, never mind. You're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Maybe you did. Maybe you watched a replay. So
I
then
didn't.
you know, Devine Joy Randolph, when she won her Oscar, first speech of the night, she thanked her publicist, and that kind of became the running joke for the rest of the night. People were like, "Well, I want to thank my publicist." So who would you thank? Like, who would your unconventional person to thank?
Why is thanking a publicist unconventional?
I just people don't do it.
I presumably that's the obvious reason. But why?
I think
wouldn't you
also
thank a
there are
publicist?
guidelines, like unspoken rules about like later on in the night, someone said, "I know I'm not supposed to thank my agent, but I'm going to." I think there are people like that you employ that you're just not supposed to thank or acknowledge.
Interesting.
Thing, who knows?
Or maybe there's something to the effect of like, if like, you know, it's like if you had to thank everybody who conceivably contributed to your success, you know, you wouldn't get past the first person, presumably.
Of course.
Okay. Who would be my unconventional person to thank?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like something to like maybe something like I want to thank the doctor who like delivered me from my mother's vagina or something like
Nice.
that. You know, like, and they didn't fuck up. You know, something like that. Oh wait a minute, it's a stream. They didn't beep up.
It's too late. Demonetized.
You deserve it for the pattern of disrespect aforementioned.
You had the link.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
It was in the group chat.
I don't check the group chat.
Got it?
Yeah, well,
personally deliver it to Ben, but still,
you also personally delivered it to
Lauren.
Lauren?
Yeah. Anyway, you're here now. Hooray! So I'm sure you're all wondering why I've called you here. It was under the guise of an Oscar debrief, but I do have a presentation I want to make. So, Barbie, a visual history of the Academy's biggest upset in its 96-year history. This won't take long. Slide 1 of 98.
Hashtag not shocking.
We'll start with Module 1, challenging the male gaze. Now, no, that's as far as I got. I don't have
I was going to say, and poor things.
Yeah, much more than Barbie, but yeah.
But also, look, she's judging. Original Barbie's judging.
That's original Barbie?
That's original Barbie, yeah.
Like original Barbie?
Yeah, that's the first Barbie.
The
Remember
very
in
first
the
Barbie?
opening of the Barbie movie, Margot Robbie's wearing that striped.
She looks just like that. Yeah.
I guess I'm somewhat surprised by the like craftsmanship. I imagined original Barbie would be like out of straw or something. You know, way back
Voodoo doll
in the 80s or whatever.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, now you know. So see, Barbie it continues to teach us.
Educating the children, yes.
Yeah. So let's just do a quick go around. First impressions. What did you think of this Oscar ceremony? Was it shocking? Was it not shocking? Was it mid? I was disappointed. I knew Barbie logically wasn't going to win Best Picture. I thought she'd win more than she did, and she didn't. And I was also pleasantly surprised to see the dog from Anatomy of a Fall, because I had heard that he was purposely not going to be there since there had been complaints for him being at like an Oscars luncheon. They thought that gave the movie an unfair advantage, so there would be no dog, but there was a dog.
The Academy members were mad about Messi the dog at the luncheon. They were like, this is like they're campaigning still. It's ridiculous.
And honestly, I feel like they're just jealous. And you can't just get angry at the dog for existing, for being a cute dog. He was a cat.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's a dog.
Your cat is visibly upset that we're talking about
Yeah, maybe
dogs.
don't listen to this, Abby.
Yeah, no, don't listen. Ben, what are your
She's like,
first
"Can you
impressions
stop?"
about this year's Oscars?
So my kind of just going off my gut, I actually thought that this was one of the better ceremonies in a few years. I mean, it's been kind of them trying to rebuild their kind of return to normalcy probably since COVID. And so it's been slow in sort of getting that like rhythm back. I generally thought it was pretty good. I thought that they did it, with some exceptions. I thought they generally picked well in terms of what won. It started a bit late, but then ended somehow early, which I've never heard an Oscar ceremony end early ever.
It's because
So,
of Al Pacino.
yeah, because of Al Pacino, which I will get to, but I did see someone on Twitter say that him reading the Best Picture winner was like your grandpa reading the Olive Garden menu and being like, "My eyes see fettuccine Alfredo." That's like kind of what his energy was. I thought that we'll talk about I'm Just Ken too, I'm sure, and I saw that Martha mentioned it. I think that might be one of the best sort of show-stopping live musical performances that the Oscars has done in years. I was blown away by that. There was some really good presenter bits that worked really well. So generally, like, I was pretty satisfied by that ceremony. I didn't necessarily agree with everything, and like not every Kimmel joke landed for me, but you know, as a whole, I was like, this is better than usual, I thought. So I was kind of like refreshingly surprised by this year's ceremony.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. It was a perfectly decent ceremony. Kimmel as host, and maybe it's not even just him. Every year, I always think, why do we need a host? Because they do the opener, and then they're just kind of like there sporadically for the rest of the night. And like,
well, they did a couple years where they didn't have one, right?
Yeah.
And people were kind of like, hey, this actually sort of works, because it is sort of a thankless job where like you're gonna get dragged no matter what if you do it, most likely. And I do think, though, in general, the idea of a host is a good one because it does sort of thread the needle. It kind of keeps the show
I
sort
was
of
gonna
feeling
say I
like
didn't like it when
cohesive.
they didn't have a host or when they had more of like a light hosting. I didn't care for it. Even
Yeah,
if the person's like, I'm not the biggest fan of Jimmy Kimmel, but like it's
yeah,
better.
and
I don't know. He's better than some of the options they've taken over the years.
definitely. Yeah, he kind of like, you know, he doesn't mind ribbing stuff, and like some of the stuff about, you know, the length of the movies and stuff, I think is kind of tired at this point. Like people were generally pretty happy, I think, with like I don't think most people complained about some of these movies being long, you know? Like, I don't know. It just is a little
No,
bit
and
of
none
an
of them
easy
are
joke, I guess.
Avatar. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I feel like in recent years there have been longer movies.
yeah,
Oppenheimer was fairly long, but
Mulaney, I thought, really killed it. I think he was like right before I'm Just Ken, and like you know, the him and that number, like the twins thing, like all this stuff, kind of, you could tell when the room was really like feeling it. And and it was exciting to kind of see that again. I can't remember that feeling in the Oscars like for a few years at least, maybe since the Parasite year, where people were like really kind of feeling, you know, in our pre-COVID days, like
I think
as a collective,
right? Was that 2020?
What's that?
Was the Parasite year 2020? Was that?
It was the last good day on Earth before COVID. No. It was it was like a month or so, probably just under a month before everything shut down.
Yeah, because I was singing with Josh Groban that night, and I missed the Oscars. I distinctly.
You were singing with?
I was singing with Josh Groban.
wow.
How? Are you guys friends? Are you pals?
No, Matt. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was there too, actually. Yeah, I was also singing with Josh Groban.
Yes. What were you? That's what you were about to say. What were you going to say, Alex?
No, I wouldn't deign. I wasn't gonna. I was trying to save that, but I was gonna say something to the effect of like, you know, that you have, you know, contacts. You have, you know, people in the network, you know, and you know they know people, and they know people, and they know people, and they kind of sort of maybe know Josh Groban.
Exactly, and that's kind of a simplification, but that's kind of how it happened, and that's also kind of how Alex sang with Josh Groban.
Because I know Matt.
Because you know me.
I love
people
this.
who
You
ask
guys
me,
are all
you know any
pals.
male singers, and I was like, here's an email address for Alex Titai, and
we sang with him twice.
We sang with him twice. We did. Wait, was it twice or 3 times? Was Niagara Falls only 1 day or 2 days?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, we sang with him.
He raised you up.
He did.
He did.
Oh, beautiful.
Wait, did he?
I don't remember. I'm assuming he raised us up.
I think we had to learn.
But we raised him up too.
We did.
Presumably.
That's mutual.
It was mutual.
Yeah, we were raising each other up.
Exactly.
That's what we said.
Oscar night, there was a terrible snowstorm that we had to drive back from Windsor in, if I recall.
It's possible.
Yeah. Anyway, Josh Groban, Oscars, snowfall, good times. Yeah. Jeanette, how'd you like this year's ceremony?
I enjoyed it very much. I was screaming at my television for various reasons. I
Why?
don't heavily. I don't know because I was passionate about it, and like I might maybe I said last week. I don't know. I had some margaritas, so that helped too. But it was a good time, and yeah, I don't. In hindsight, I don't heavily disagree with any of the awards. I might disagree with some of the awards. In the end, I feel like I'm happy with what Poor Things got, which was my big, hurrah on this season. So, I don't know. Yeah, I was happy they got this, like the production design, they got costume and makeup, and they got right. I'm right about that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And then they got she got acting. So
yeah.
I don't know. I would have preferred if Nolan would have won an Oscar for something else. I didn't need it to be this, but that's just because there's other things I like more than it this year. It was literally my number 10 movie. So
I think it was either 9 or 10 for me as well.
yeah, I mean, and it's not because it's a bad movie. Same thing. Holdovers was 9, and Holdovers was a great movie. It's just not. It's not of all the things this year. I would rather watch something else. So, but I would say at the Oscars, past the awards, the good time to be had. I once again was very tickled pink with John Cena because he continues to prove that he is a better actor than The Rock in every regard. I just every time he does anything, he's like full commitment, and it was hilarious.
All he had to say was costumes, and it like wrecked the room. People loved it.
Yeah, yes,
It was
like
great.
and I know people write this stuff for him, but he is consistently funny. Like he is
Mhm.
a very successful comedic actor, and I wish to see him in more things.
Yeah, agreed. I was happy to see him just having an appearance and gain that much, I guess, attention at the Oscars. Like, he's not the person I ever would have expected to have a weird Oscar cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there it is.
So that was my little happy moment there. I just thought and then what was hilarious was I think either right before or right after. I think right after The Rock, like they announced The Rock as a presenter, and he just like comes out in his beige suit, like, and I'm like, oh, look how entertaining this is.
It was
Not-
weird to hear The Rock and Bad Bunny say the zone of interest. It was it was a little bit like there was like kind of a disconnect in my brain hearing The Rock be like the zone of interest, and I was like, this is weird.
Just like
Yeah,
Schwarzenegger
you're right.
in Godzilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Although
and
that
justice for
Mm.
Guardians of the Galaxy. By the way, I'm sorry. I know Godzilla is probably amazing, and I haven't seen.
Oh,
it,
that
but
VFX win was like that, and the sound win that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
That The Rock
Yeah.
did. Those two were my favorite wins of the night. Like they were such kind of it felt like an underdog in a way, the Godzilla crew. And I love that they brought their little Godzillas on stage, and they were trying to hold
that
the
was
with the Godzillas.
that was really cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not to talk against the team on Guardians though, because they did do really good work. Like you're saying, they did great work.
I also was super stoked that Zone of Interest got international film. That felt like I felt like I know it's not going to get Best Picture, so I was like, as long as it gets this and sound, I'll be a-okay.
Yeah. I'm glad we had the discussion about Zone of Interest. I did end up seeing it. I don't think I would have appreciated it as much had I not had the information that was provided to me the night before by all of you, as it were, about both the production process of making the house, the accuracy, the Big Brother style, we have cameras, but you can't see us thing, alongside just appreciating the sound design. I think if I had seen it just on its own, I would have been kind of underwhelmed, and I would have spent the whole movie thinking, why aren't you acknowledging that they're killing a bunch of people? Well, kind of aware that was the point. But yeah, I do wish I had seen it in theaters to have the full impact of the soundscape.
Same. And the darkness at the beginning. I feel like being in total darkness forces you to notice the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to mention too that the clips that they segmented for all those films for Best Sound, I thought they did a great job with those clips. Like they actually really let you hear the work just for like a moment. And I think with Zone, it was just the shot of the flower and whatever mix that they did around that. And I was
the red
it's
one.
kind of like this tasteful thing that you usually don't get, clips overall, I personally can use more of. Like I love when we see clips of the movies and they
I miss the old days when they used to like explain things, like with the special effects and all that, where they take a few seconds to like actually talk about each one
show you kind of the thing, yeah,
and
exactly.
be like, in this scene, you see them doing blah 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 blah, or like the costume design, like so and so brought us to the 18th century and da da da. Like I like those voiceovers.
Yeah, I like
Really
the
nice.
I like the showiness whenever it happens. I keep thinking back to Oscar hosts. There was a year when Whoopi hosted, and she kept on coming out in different costumes all night.
Yes,
like,
that's
and-
one of my favorite years.
Pleasantville.
Oh my god.
For Pleasant, and this was before I had seen Pleasantville, and before I realized Pleasantville is one of my favorite films of all time, which
It's really good.
maybe no one knows that, but it is. I love Pleasantville. And she came out like half in black and white and half in color. And yeah, and then I think there was might have been Shakespeare in Love was that year too. So she came out as Queen Elizabeth at one point. Like, give me more of that. Give me Jimmy Kimmel coming out in Barbie drag. We didn't get that. It was on someone's bingo card.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Oh, that would have been good.
Would have.
Yeah.
missed opportunity.
I know.
Yeah.
Alex, what do you think of the ceremony?
Well, I would love. Well, love's too strong a word, but I would appreciate if you guys, ever want to do like a play-by-play, kind of tell me what the heck happened. I'd be down for that. I mean, I picked up things here and there, a bit here. I'm just Ken there,
Of course.
These little moments. John Cena, always love a John Cena cameo.
Oh, do you know what the John Cena cameo was, Alex?
Costume.
Yeah. Do you know how it was framed?
No, I don't.
Okay, so Kimmel started by saying this year marks the 50th anniversary of one of the most outrageous unplanned Oscar moments, and that was when was Barbara Streisand accepting an award. Was Streisand involved? Someone was on stage because it's the Oscars, so of course they were. And then there was a streaker. This guy just ran naked on camera behind whoever was there on screen. Wasn't planned. Who knows how they got
ran on the stage?
On the stage, right behind them, fully naked. And so Kimmel was like, that was 50
the
years
anniversary.
Ago.
Yeah, 50th
wouldn't
anniversary.
It be crazy if it happened again? Then awkward silence. He's like, wouldn't it be crazy if it happened again? Another awkward silence. Then John Cena just sheepishly like pokes his head out from behind like the platform or behind the screen, at least off stage. He's like, Jimmy, I'm not comfortable doing this anymore. And then they have a little chat about trying to do a bit. And then it leads to John Cena coming on stage, seemingly fully naked, just covering his hairy business, as we would say from Poor Things, with the envelope best costumes.
And he walks up and he goes, costumes. And
they're the most important thing.
So then he has them bring him something and he lifts the envelope up and
but then they cut to like the standard montage of costumes, and then when we cut back to him, he's wearing a toga that was seemingly fashioned out of like a curtain that they pulled from the set. So yes,
Cool.
Yeah, fun times.
Yeah, so yeah, stuff like that I'm down for if you want to let me know, but otherwise I also don't care too much, but I'm down. But yeah, no, it sounds like it was a decent, good time. I love or I really enjoyed I'm Just Ken in the movie. And
did you watch the Oscar performance?
No, I haven't seen anything from the Oscars.
Didn't I send it to you?
You may very well have. I did not watch it.
but
He
doesn't read any messages, not just the group chat.
But yeah, no, I'm sure that I would have been entertained. Although, never say never. But yeah, sounds like a good time. I'm assuming there wasn't some like major controversial moment. Unfortunately,
there was no like slap. Probably.
Yeah, approximating the slap, as it were.
People kind of think that Al Pacino may or may not have misunderstood what he was meant to do when he was announcing Best Picture.
Yeah, he had a little bit of an Elizabeth Taylor type moment.
Yeah.
On stage.
So basically,
they're always getting these like octogenarians to do Best Picture. I love all of these people so much, but they're always like, "Okay, go do it," and then there's like a problem,
Also, do we not have Lifetime Achievement Awards anymore? I feel like there was no Lifetime Achievement time.
Angela
there
Bassett
wasn't one in the ceremony.
Angela Bassett did the in memoriam. Who did the in memoriam?
Oh, I can't remember. No, but I know Angela Bassett, like within the last few months, got an honorary Oscar. Maybe not lifetime achievement. Got
But they
some.
used
But
to
they
air
usually
that.
during the ceremony would
Yeah.
have someone and they'd all stand and be like, "You're amazing."
Yeah.
That didn't happen this year.
Yeah, no.
But
I
speaking of in
realized that.
memoriam, Matt, that's my biggest bone to pick. They shouldn't have dancers during the in memoriam. They
Yeah,
shouldn't have people dancing around on
didn't
stage.
see the names.
Let's see the names. You couldn't read them because they kind of were like, here are the important people, and then now here's a bunch of other ones that are like on tiny little font
Right.
on one screen while people are dancing. And I'm like, come
What
on.
kind of dance was it though?
Interpretive.
Modern
That
interpretive.
That sounds.
dance.
That sounds. If you're gonna have any dancing, that sounds potentially like the most apropos.
I should say
It is, but
I just think they should
I mean, I didn't
scrap
see
all
it.
the dancing for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of dancing, we have two more guests joining us. Our favorite dancers. I couldn't do a segue. Look,
On
And
one
they're
screen.
together.
Wow.
Yeah.
we're together.
We're back.
Back in the
Okay,
box again.
now that
Separation's
everybody's here,
over.
now that we're all here, Lisa, Vince, you're probably wondering why I've called all of us here tonight.
Yeah, sure.
It's time for my PowerPoint presentation. Barbie, a visual history of the Academy's biggest upset in its 96-year history. It's only 90.
Slide 1 of 98.
Slide 1. Module 1, challenging the male gaze. That's what she's doing. Look at her eyes. I didn't have time to do the other slides. But the intention was there.
Amazing.
Thank you.
A+.
I should have made one for Saltburn.
Should Oh my gosh, Saltburn. I still know nothing about that movie. I know what the bathtub scene is now, and I've
You
seen people
still
make
haven't-
cocktails inspired by it, which is
I know, right?
Anyway, Lisa, Vince, welcome. What are your first impressions of Oscar night? Oh, and also the opening question I asked was, when you win your Oscar, who is the unconventional person you're going to thank? Like a publicist, for example, taking inspiration from Bagel. Mhm.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm gonna just say what I was originally came to mind. I will thank like a specific celebrity that like I've never met, that like I don't really have like very significant ties to. Like they're not an icon of mine, but like they just didn't make it into like my screenplay, or like they didn't make it into the final cut or whatever. And it would be Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor will be thanked. And it's because in the script I'm going to win my Oscar for, there was a joke that I really wanted where they're the punchline and they don't make it in. So I want to thank them in my speech. So that it's not that unconventional.
Yeah.
But I feel like it kind of is. So
It kind of is. I feel like no one else is ever going to thank Sarah Pauli for a reference that wasn't made. So like, yeah, there it is. There it is. They'll thank Sarah Pauli, I'm sure, and people have, but
oh no, sorry, not
No.
Sarah Pauli, Sarah Paulson. Sarah
Paulson.
Catherine
I thought you said Sarah Pauli. I was thinking Sarah Pauli. I love Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah Paul. Wait, who's Sarah Paulson?
She was
From
in
American Horror Story.
Ratchet.
Oh, I do know who that. I've seen her in person.
So the joke that I had is like an age gap romance, because Sarah Paulson is 30 years younger than her wife or partner, Holland Taylor. And they're just like an iconic lesbian couple. And I don't know them. They're not fully iconic to me, but like they will be thanked in my speech.
Nice.
And I hope I won't meet them before then. So I
Here's what
just
Abby thought of the Oscars.
so yeah. Anyway, yeah, Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor. Yeah,
Love it. Vince, how about you?
When I win an Oscar, it's probably going to be for Only Time Will Tell, the movie musical.
Of course.
Oh, I'm in the process of mounting everything right now, and I want to say thank you to Leonard Nimoy. I think the legendary late great Leonard Nimoy, famously Spock. A lot of people call him Dr. Spock, but that's wrong. That's a misnomer. Dr. Spock wrote the baby care guidebook of the 1950s. Yep. Despite being the science officer of the USS Enterprise, he was not a doctor. Very strange, but he was just Spock. Sometimes Mr. Spock. But I'm going to thank him for being the host of In Search Of, which has inspired me to create Only Time Will Tell.
Nice. Nice.
And good Lord, I hope it brings me an Oscar one day.
Hey, who knows?
Who knows? Who's to say?
I
So
would also like to thank my future dog walker. I think that would be a very notable thing.
I like that. It's like Io thanking her agent's assistants at
Yes.
Golden Globes. That made me so happy.
That was really nice.
Do so much that goes unsung. So yes, thank the assistants, thank the dog walkers, thank.
But the future ones, that's really interesting.
Well, because I don't have one right now. I don't have a dog.
But once you get the Oscar, you'll be able to afford a dog because of all the money that Oscars bring.
Hopefully, yes.
For dogs.
For dogs.
Yes. Okay.
I mean,
yeah, there it is. So speaking of dogs, how did everyone like the dog appearance? I know we've kind of touched on it. What was everyone's favorite dog moment? Mine was when he was clapping from the audience. Yes.
the dog wasn't clapping.
The dog was clapping.
At most, it was doing like something like this, like.
No. It was later confirmed to be
like
puppet
this.
dog arms.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So the dog wasn't clapping.
It was in his eyes. He meant to. You know he wanted.
I
Okay, you
learned
really meant to.
controversially that they filmed that hours before, and I was
Except it
like, oh
edited
my god,
so
because
seamlessly.
he was so seamless because Gosling kind of reacts to the dog clap, and it was so natural, and I was like, wow, I can't believe Messi's behaving so well. His dog's name is Messi,
Yeah.
and what's his name in the movie? Snoop, right? I think
Snoop,
he's called
yeah.
Snoop in the movie,
Snoop.
but his real name's Messi. But yeah, glad to see him. He's a fun dog.
He's such a good boy. He had a little
Mm.
bow tie on. It was so cute.
Mhm.
It was
Mm.
great. It was great. So let's talk about what the biggest upsets of the night may have been, according to everyone. I was personally shocked and slightly offended that Barbie didn't win for production design, costume. Well, and maybe costumes. But like they built Barbie Land. I tweeted this or I X'd this because I guess that's what we have to say now is that Barbie Land was not built to lose that award. Although things did look beautiful, but it was Barbie Land. Although someone made a very good counter argument on my Facebook saying anyone could have imagined Barbie Land who's been around for the last 40 to 50 years. Like we all know what Barbie Land looks like as opposed to just creating the world of Poor Things out of the imagination. So I guess there is validity to that. But Barbie Land was just done so well. I feel that to that point, it's almost maybe not harder, but there is a challenge there because everyone knows what it looks like. And it met and exceeded my visual expectations at the very least. But yeah, justice for Barbie Land, I guess. But what was everyone else's thoughts either on that or what was an upset for you? Someone that you would have liked to have seen win that didn't win.
I'm curious what Barbie lost. What did win production and or
Poor
Poor
Things.
things.
And
So
both
Poor Things.
are those two separate categories? Costume and production and Poor Things. are both?
Barbie
Mhm.
only won original song, and not for "I'm Just Ken." It won for the Billie Eilish song. Which, when you watch the performance of "I'm Just Ken," you're like, "This is a winner."
Oh well, that's precisely the point I made.
Yeah.
But,
So that was a little bit. Well, I think that Eilish had more momentum going into the ceremony, but the biggest upset for me was the Lily Gladstone loss. I really thought that she had there was a lot of momentum there for her, and I think there was the potential for a historic win. But it wasn't the kind of upset where I was personally upset, because I think that Emma Stone was amazing in Poor Things, but it just wasn't what I was expecting because they had already given her an Oscar a few years ago for La La Land. So I think that was a big sort of. There's usually one major award that's a little bit sometimes surprising for me, and that was the one.
Yeah, I think I just mathematically everything seemed to be pointing to Lily. I'd even watched interviews where people said we've looked at all the numbers and this is why it will probably mathematically be Lily because the vote is being split overseas between Sandra Hüller and Emma Stone. So by default, it'll fall to Lily. So I just thought all the data was there. I thought Lily had it in the bag. But also when Emma won, yeah, like you, Ben, I wasn't upset. I didn't have the same guttural.
She looked legitimately shocked. I really think she was not expecting to win. People are saying that she didn't want to win, which I don't think is completely true because she was campaigning.
Right? I also don't think that. Yeah, I mean,
to win
who
an
doesn't
Oscar.
want to win? I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that she was. I do think she was legitimately surprised. I don't think she was really when like her reactions seemed kind of like, oh my God. And what's so funny about it is that if you watch the show The Curse that aired this year, which is one of the most like anxiety inducing, like painful things I've ever watched. It's a comedy with Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie and Emma Stone, and she produced it with the two of them. And that whole show is about kind of affluent white people like in sort of ingratiating themselves into this space with like in this town specifically with like a lot of native people, and her character is like really trying to like befriend this indigenous artist about her age that like clearly doesn't really like, she can kind of see through her a little bit. And it's just everybody who watched The Curse was like, it would be so funny because her character is this like very much like, I'm a white woman but I like care so deeply about like other communities, but it's very like obvious that it's to kind of benefit her own social standing. And so her character on that show, and then everybody was like, if she wins the Oscar over Lily Gladstone, it's kind of like in that ironic way a little bit hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it plays into the narrative of that show with that other character that she was on just a few months ago. So that was sort of funny to think about. But as a result, though, too, Killers won nothing. Killers went home with 0 nominations, which I think Martin Scorsese is very used to. And there was footage of her, of Lily being kind of consoled by Marty, because I think he's like giving her a hug and stuff, and you can't hear what they're saying, but you can tell that he's kind of like, don't worry about it, It's
Can
nothing.
I be honest? I
great.
feel like the one who really, I don't want to say got screwed, but the one that I would expect to win if Emma Stone didn't win is Sandra Hüller. She's in, I know she's not nominated for both movies, but she's in 2 Oscar nominated films this year. I'm like, sure, Lily Gladstone was great, but like Sandra Hüller's probably, in my opinion, the number 2, and then Lily Gladstone would be the number 3.
Yeah, like I think Sandra was my personal favorite. Having seen, I think I saw all the. No, I didn't see Annette. I didn't see the swimming movie. But
And
like, if I could have voted, I probably would have voted for Sandra because she had the speech. Like for me, I want the speech. Give me the acting speech.
Concealing something dirtier and meaner.
Yes.
So
Live among the goats.
So I finally did watch Poor Things, and it was, I think, my second favorite movie of the season.
Yay!
After Anatomy of the Fall. So Jeanette, you were right. I didn't want to like live text you because I was like, I am so entranced. So yes, loved it. I loved everything about it. Can't say enough about it. This is a hot take. Okay.
Ooh, let's go.
Lily Gladstone, love her. I do think she should have won based on the fact that awards are made up, and this would have been a very historic win.
Yeah.
Because awards,
like that take.
Right? And it's a historic win. Good, great. Emma Stone deserved the win because of how much she's in the movie, but also just like the skill and like the technicality of her performance throughout the entire 2.5 hours. Amazing. That compared to Sandra Hüller, listen, I want Sandra Hüller to be all over me at all times. And that speech was amazing. But in comparison to the technicality of Emma Stone's performance, that is an Oscar-worthy performance. So, yes, I think she deserves it. But historically, as a historical win, Lily Gladstone should have definitely gotten it. And the Academy, listen, they're so shitty. They don't know what they're doing half the time. It should have gone to Lily, and I feel so like torn about it because yes, Emma Stone already has an Oscar, but this was like a more technically enhanced performance than La La Land. Like there's just so much discourse around Emma Stone winning for the second time. But like it was such a good performance. I can't see anybody watching Killers of the Flower Moon and then watching Poor Things and saying, yes, Lily deserves it just based on like the acting alone. if you take away all of the history behind Lily being like the winner, if that was the case, I don't think like Lily should have been in the supporting actress category. I truly believe that.
There's been discussion about that. Like, would she have maybe given Divine Joy Randolph a run for her money if she was in supporting? The thing is, they had to choose. And an interesting thing to think about that I saw someone mention that I hadn't is that you think about her not being in the movie very much. But she's in almost an hour of the runtime.
Yeah.
It's just because the runtime is so long. So she's almost giving as much of a performance as like, Emma Stone, I think, is in pretty much every scene of Poor Thing.
Like 95 minutes or something. I think it's actually statistically like the longest screen time of a Best Actress winner or nominee, or close to it. Which is
it's really, but it feels in a way that she's kind of, maybe because of the way that Scorsese sort of like positions the point of view a lot of the time, that it feels like she's on screen less. And it's definitely like, I totally agree with you, Lisa. Like, I think we might have talked about it on the prediction show, but like the way that movies are shot out of sequence and having to track Bella's brain through that is like incredible technical skill as an actor, and I would give her the Oscar over the La La Land Oscar. Like, if I had to pick between the two, I'm like, oh, absolutely. But it just goes to show like what a killer category the Best Actress category was this year with and Sandra Hüller. I mean, it was
even in Annette Bening's performance in Nyad, like that was a really good performance too.
I haven't seen that yet. Have you guys seen it?
I did. Yeah,
I watched the beginning of it. It was
it's the movie. The movie, like the writing of Nyad is not the greatest, but like Annette Bening's performance alongside Jodie Foster, I think like phenomenal. So like such a stacked category for sure. But I think the thing when I think about Lily Gladstone and Killers, like it's not so much about the runtime of like how long she was in it, but it's more of like the story is about the white men fucking over the indigenous. Sorry, Matt.
Oh, we
demonetized
before.
But like it is the white man fucking over the indigenous community, and I think the two leads in that movie, I know people will disagree with me, but from my perspective, the way that I saw it, it was Leo and Robert De Niro. Like those were the leads. And I disagree so strongly that there always needs to be a male lead and a female lead in the movie, because that's just not the case. You look at a lot of Westerns in the past, the female lead is like the bar wench or the whore, and like they're on screen for 5 minutes. So like to say that Lily is the leading woman in that movie, I think is a disservice to the fact that as an actor, her role as Leo's character's wife is pivotal, and a supporting actor, a supporting character, it like hinges on the importance of the movie and not necessarily like leading the charge. And that's why I think Robert and Leo are the leads in that movie. And like I think they should have like had those, I think they should have had more recognition of that. And I'm grateful that as like white men, they like turned the attention to Lily and was like, no, this is not about us, but the story is about them. And I feel like I just want to see Lily do a joyous, beautiful, masterful movie where she is fully the lead and she's in it for 2.5 hours straight and she gets the win and she doesn't have to suffer on screen. But the performance in the movie Killers of the Flower Moon, I think it's great, but Emma Stone deserves the Oscar.
Vince, yes.
I just want to chime in here. I think most Westerns would be absolutely nothing without bar wenches and whores.
A true feminist.
Yes.
Lily Gladstone wants to host SNL. I saw in an interview.
And I want her to host.
They should let her host SNL. And you should also, if you haven't seen this movie, this is called Certain Women. It's a Kelly Reichardt movie. Lily Gladstone's in this movie, and she's got a segment with Kristen Stewart. And it's the best of the three. There's 3 different stories about certain women in Certain Women. And the Kristen Stewart, Lily Gladstone one, this is the first time I ever saw Lily Gladstone. And I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. So check that out.
I think she's like such a terrific actor. Like I saw this, it was like a mix of a documentary slash like fictional movie where they follow Lily's character into this indigenous community. I forgot what it was called, but like everything around her, that was happening around her is a documentary. But herself, she's playing a character, and it's just like the most brilliant thing ever, I think, in cinema, because you're smashing these two kinds of genres together, and the way that Lily like just is able to hold both of those worlds, it's like you're such a good actor, you're such a good storyteller. Like I can't wait to see what she does in her career, because she is just like, first of all, trailblazer, but also just masterful in her skill. I can't wait to see what Lily Gladstone does. But I'm glad like her name's out there and people are talking about her, because that is, I think that's the first step for
Yeah,
a
look, I
very
feel whether she won or not, I think the same career opportunities are going to be opening for her. Like, yeah, I think she did come out as a winner, and also the way that she handled the loss was really beautiful as well. Like she seemed genuinely happy for Emma, which was nice to see. Even though I wanted to see her win, that's also just I feel that's become such an important part of Oscar narratives I've found over the past few years, especially, is just people nitpicking and reacting to how people react when they lose. Like specifically with Angela Bassett last year, there was so much discussion, I feel, based on her reaction, which like wasn't even that much. It was just visible, restrained disappointment. But there was so much discussion around it where they were like, oh, why wasn't she happier for Jamie Lee Curtis? And then,
people love to like project on like little glances and stuff, you know.
Well, also it's totally it's totally almost like oxymoronic. Like you have this award show that like is, you know, putting on pedestals, effectively, literally, not really, but you know, putting on pedestals people and movies and all kinds of things as number one in their category, and there's some kind of judgment over, or like expectation that like it's like pure solidarity, and there's like no, there's, you know, like it's totally natural to not that I think that everybody should be like a poor loser, but it's totally fine and not being a poor loser at all to be disappointed that you didn't win a competition that is clearly a competition. Like the expectation and judgment for somebody being disappointed, you know, is ridiculous.
Also,
you know?
We shouldn't be policing people's reactions, let alone Black women and Indigenous women's reactions. Like everyone who was criticizing Angela Bassett for like, oh, like how rude. Like she's allowed to be disappointed, and she's not doing anything to hurt anybody physically. Like she can like stomp off and have her big feelings, and that's fine. And like to say Lily Gladstone was so graceful in her disappointment, like fine, what, like that's how she handles it, whatever. Also, her and Emma Stone are friends, so it's a little bit different than I'm sure Angela Bassett and Jamie Lee Curtis. Like it's so, I don't know, like that's feel disappointed, people. It's okay.
Yeah, and Angela Bassett, like she made a statement recently in reaction to that, where she just outright said, like, yes, I was disappointed, and I like that. Like I love that.
Actually, I don't remember this at all. I don't remember this happening. People were mad about how she looked when she
she made a face. She was like sad. She was sad. And I would be too, if that's fair.
My favorite reaction to an Oscar loss is when in 1999, I guess it would have been the 2000 Oscars, I think Paul Thomas Anderson lost to Alan Ball for American Beauty, and it shows all their faces. And if you watch Paul Thomas Anderson's, he goes like that. He does a big like whoa face, but like really over.
Oh my god!
And it's a lot of fun. They like to have fun sometimes too, you know. So but yeah, you're right. It's a very natural feeling to feel disappointed if you lose an award. But it does go back to that whole thing of like, it's funny when you pit movies against each other, kind of, especially because they're not made for that reason most of the time. So it's an interesting thing. It like you start to think about like, you know, who's better and who's more, you know, and it's like I remember talking about a movie that wasn't nominated, Priscilla, the Sofia Coppola movie, and talking about Elvis's, like we talked about Elvis last year and who was the better Elvis. And in my head, I'm like, they were perfect for that movie. Like
Mhm.
Elordi would have been wrong for the Baz Luhrmann one, and Austin Butler wouldn't have been really right for the Sofia
Yeah.
Coppola one. You know, it's like movies, they make their own choices. I don't know. I'm rambling, but it is weird when you think about it. Like, what are we doing when we put these together? And like, you know, and eventually as years pass, you tend to forget about who exactly was nominated for one category, and then it kind of sits on its own again, which is nice.
Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz only won 2 Oscars, maybe 3, but
Yeah.
I feel
Citizen
like
Kane lost, and everybody was like, Citizen Kane's the best movie ever.
there you
It's
go.
like, that didn't win Best Picture. How
Oscars.
Green Was My Valley won.
What even is that movie?
Mhm.
We had to watch it in Screenwriting 1, Matt. I'm surprised that did you have Evan Cameron's screenwriting class?
Howard Ashman.
Matt and
No,
I
not
went to
Howard
school
Ashman.
together.
That's a different person altogether.
I wish Howard Ashman.
I know. I wish Howard
I
Ashman.
was like, what?
Songwriter.
You studied under Howard Ashman?
Right?
We showed up
When I
to
was
film school
bored.
and we learned how
I
to
was
do
like,
Under
you
the
need
Sea. We did have a professor named Howard. Yeah,
It was
Howard's
actually
great.
Alan Menken, and he brought his Howard Ashman cassette tapes, and he played.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, Oscars.
Oscars.
Woo.
Okay,
Woo.
can I say, all right, look, I understand. I guess. Maybe I understand. People want to say it's because it's shocking, but I guess I understand why Saltburn wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Fine. But I do not understand how Barry Keoghan was not nominated for Best Actor. Like, if you watch that movie, I can't wrap my head around it. It really blows my mind. As well as that movie wasn't written for that, or that song wasn't written for that movie. But I feel like Murder on the Dance Floor should have been best song. And Barry Keoghan should have been performing it at the Oscars. And that's what we really all missed out on.
Well, sometimes nominations make no sense to me overall, especially, and also winners, which we've kind of touched on. Like, I keep thinking back to Laura Dern winning for Marriage Story, which I still don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did she win?
She won for
Supporting
Marriage
actress.
Story for
Supporting actress. Okay.
Yeah.
Who was she in that movie?
She's the
The
lawyer. Scarlett. Johansson.
Okay, I vaguely recollect.
That
From what I remember,
movie's
she has
so
maybe 2
trite.
scenes. One of them, she's just on the phone with.
Who was she up against?
Driver. Who was she up against? I
That's
feel-
more so the question. See, that's always the thing. You need the context
I
of who
can't
the other
remember.
options were, right? If everybody else was weird or obscure or
I
whatever,
don't get
then it's
how
like,
everybody kissed that movie's butt and then nobody liked The Last Duel. It really bothers me. I can't.
The Last Duel was really good.
I know. We both agree on this. We
I
talked
get it,
about
though.
We like The Last
I really like The Last Duel as well. I really enjoy that movie like a lot, but I enjoy it as an entertaining film. I don't look at it as like an especially like I don't know, like not that I can find like obvious nitpicks right off the cuff, but I don't look at it as like an especially well crafted film or an especially well acted film. I look at it as a very entertaining film. Whereas Marriage Story,
the only reason I compare the two is because of Adam Driver.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Like they're overlooking
No, but you're smart
what
to
I
do
consider
this.
to be a better performance.
I've never heard anyone kind of pair those together, but there's so much about like perspective and the truth, and like there's a lot of stuff that kind of that
they're similar.
You could double feature those easily and make a very strong case. I feel like so. I like that, Jeanette.
Oh,
I
oh my gosh. So I pulled up who Laura Dern was up against, and I know who I would have voted for. So Kathy Bates in Richard Jewell, I don't know what that was. Margot Robbie in Bombshell, Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit, and Florence Pugh in Little Women, who I think should have won. Florence
Yeah,
Yes.
give it to Florence.
Wait a minute.
Pugh.
How did
Scarlett Johansson was in
not-
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
the
She
mom.
was JoJo's mom.
Was she?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the main woman in the movie.
Yeah, with the shoes.
thought
I don't remember. I remember the rabbit and
Bombshell.
Taika Waititi
that.
and the kid.
Margot Robbie's performance in Bombshell, I really enjoyed. I
Yeah.
thought that was really strong. I thought
I
she
mean,
like
I
feel like
absolutely
Laura Dern was
Bombshell.
decent,
I
but-
remember Margot Robbie in Bombshell. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
That's a good one.
I remember
Yeah.
her looking
Bombshell's that
captivating
movie.
picture of a woman. Yeah.
You also just reminded me that I want to see Richard Jewell, and I had forgot about that movie.
There it is. There it is. But it just makes me think how much has to do with campaigning versus quality of
Yeah.
performance just to like get the nomination, let alone.
Definitely, it's very political, and not in like a liberal conservative political, but just political in terms of like Yeah, the things that get the most attention often are the ones that have the most money, who can keep these campaigns going. And yeah, it is there, because there's a lot of deserved performances and crafts people that get overlooked a lot of times because the studio can't shell out the money to do screeners and have special screenings in LA or whatever.
Yeah, so I almost wonder if that's why Saltburn didn't get the love. Like, I don't know what its situation is
But
financially.
Saltburn's kind of nasty. Like, it's kind of by design, like not super crowd pleasy. But I guess some Oscar movies aren't.
See where I see, that's what I thought. Like, the reason it didn't get the love is because it's weird and shocking and all of that. But Quentin Tarantino gets nominated every freaking time he makes a movie. So I find that argument hard.
He's a man, and Emerald, what's her name? Emerald Fennell is a woman. And
that's what I'm getting at. She's friends with Greta, and Greta got snubbed. I feel like there's somebody somewhere that doesn't like that group of girls. And granted, I don't know that I'm totally fond of all the stuff that all of them put out either. But Emerald stuff, I like Emerald stuff.
What I realized is like kind of shocking about the whole Barbie discourse of like Greta and Margot not being nominated for director and actor. They got nominations. They actually did. She got nominated as a writer, and Margot Robbie got nominated as best movie as the producer. So they were nominated for their secondary roles. And I think that's amazing. The fact that they were nominated in that regard is awesome. But like, I don't know, like I do think I can still see that like the Academy, even though there are women and there are a lot of like diverse folks, it's still a white boys club. And like, you have to accept that. You just like, that is what Hollywood is. That's what Hollywood is, and that is.
I want to make a point to that. Though, and I hadn't thought of this myself, but I heard someone talk about it. And this doesn't really involve race so much as that there is a shift in the Academy. I feel like I agree with this statement that it is going more international, though. Generally, that movies that are Oppenheimer was a big Hollywood movie. But there's a lot more recognition for international films as a whole, and maybe in some ways at the expense of movies like Barbie, which is like kind of the ultimate Hollywood studio project. So I think that there's still a lot of like work to be done in terms of like who is comprising the Academy itself. But over the last few years, we're starting to see shifts happening, right? Like films
but they're happening,
they're small but happening. Films like Drive My Car and Zone of Interest and Parasite, especially Parasite. I mean, that
Anatomy of the Fall and like
getting the amount of recognition.
How many foreign movies were Best Picture this year? It was at least 2 were nominated. It was Zone of Interest and Anatomy of a Fall, Past Lives, but that was an American film, right?
Yeah.
But still,
it's in Canada for
high
like
inclusivity.
But there's definitely it's interesting that that you're starting to see kind of a broadening of what's recognized in terms of like countries, like that it's like, oh, you're getting all of these like international films in these major categories that maybe would have been overlooked before. But there's definitely, Lisa, like you're saying, still very obvious biases, that keep kind of getting reflected. And but I think that over time, it'll be interesting to see kind of what patterns start to emerge, like as we move forward and see like what ends up getting recognized and what wins. Because I think now we're kind of starting to in some ways. So that interests me.
Yeah, I think like the Academy Awards itself, that's why I'm always so curious to see like the awards season overall, because you do see more international films like from Europe and like in Australia, you'll see more movies from other countries that are not from America being recognized. But I think like the Academy should really consider, and I like you're saying, Ben, like they have in small ways movies from other places that are not from Hollywood. And I think that has a lot to do with like what the Academy is consuming, like on an individual basis. Like a member of the Academy, what are the movies that they're seeing that are not necessarily going to be awarded or nominated in the Academy? So like I know as like an artistic viewer of things, I like got a Mubi subscription, which is like an international movie base that's like Netflix. And like I've changed my opinion on European cinema and like Bollywood and Tollywood. Like I like years ago I would have never like considered that, but it makes my movie watching experience so much more like layered and I think intricate.
Mhm.
When I go to watch a Hollywood movie, I'm like, okay, well that wasn't like that's not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but like the 1990s movie that I watched from Finland was amazing last week. So I think like it's about like cinema literature that I think a lot of film students, but a lot of like the general public don't. And I think like that's I think like just being like digitally literate, being cinematically literate is going to be really interesting in the next few years, and especially for the Academy members. So
Yeah,
Okay,
I just
great.
pulled it up. They have standards now. In order to qualify for Best Picture, they have 4 inclusion standards, and your movie needs to meet 2 of them out of the 4. So they are, where is it? Standard A, on screen. So you must meet one of the following: at least one lead or significant supporting actor must be from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group, or at least 30% of all actors in secondary or minor roles are from an underrepresented group, or main storyline is centered on an underrepresented group. B, the team. The film must have at least 2 of the creative leadership positions and department heads, such as director, cinematographer, or costume designer, being from underrepresented groups. 6 crew or technical positions from underrepresented groups. Standard C, the film must be distributed and financed. It must provide a financed paid apprenticeship or internship for underrepresented groups, and must offer below the line skill development for the underrepresented. And then D, the film must have multiple in-house senior executives from underrepresented groups on the marketing, publicity, and or distribution team. So you need to meet 2 of those 4 criteria to qualify for Best Picture.
Those are in addition to other criteria. Those are just like diversity requirements.
The diversity requirements
Yeah,
on top of
okay.
like probably runtime and the whole thing about like it has to screen in an actual movie theater for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those were just introduced this year, I believe.
So for this 2024 period, for the next year's kind of award,
like the movies we saw this year, I think that's
we're
the
under
first
that
year that
standard.
they've had to meet those guidelines. So that is one thing that the Academy has done to, I think, try to encourage more inclusion and more diversity within the movies that get nominated. So like steps are being taken, but when I think to the movies this year, like, do they all? Well, I guess they do all fit those.
Well, but I
Does
think
Zone, I wonder what Zone's minority groups are, like Germans.
yeah, or
I mean,
But
like,
although there might
what
be
are-
people involved behind the scenes, I don't know.
like,
Yeah.
are minority groups? I don't like that word. Like, is it just racialized folks? Or,
yeah,
like,
we don't know what it means. Any
ability.
kind of minority.
That's true, yeah.
It could be
like
all kinds of
disabled
stuff.
People? Could it be like
It
queer
could be
people?
Yeah, it could be
Could
gender related. It could be all kinds of. There are all kinds
What
of
are
ways
we
to
yeah,
you
I
know,
think it goes with
categorize
they
people.
use underrepresented most of the time, and the first time they use underrepresented, they specify to say underrepresented racial or ethnic group,
And
then
also
later on
underrepresented
says-
specifically within film, or as
Yeah.
opposed to like a minority, a minority in the population, but not necessarily in the film. I don't know how an example of that would work for one but not the other. But anyway,
So yeah, anytime they specify underrepresented, it does seem to be focused on racial and ethnic groups.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm not
Just like
sure
the
how I
classic.
feel about it, because like I almost feel like more progress could be made with who comprises like the Academy, and like I feel like there's I love initiatives of getting people from unrepresented groups or lesser represented groups involved in like making the films and stuff. I guess it's good that there's like different tiers of it, because like every story is sort of different,
yeah,
So,
you don't
like,
have to necessarily make like they gave those standards. It was like you had to have 2 of the 4 standards, and within almost each standard, like 3 of the 4 standards, there were.
do they have
options.
standards in terms of who's like part of like the adjudicated like Academy, like who gets to vote?
I don't think
Is that they must, right?
I doubt they have the
they
same
do,
ones, but
although I don't think I don't
Who is the Academy?
think they tell. I don't think there's any publicly available list as to who makes up the Academy. I think they hold that.
I don't think
Matt,
so.
find out. Tell us now.
Do
Expose.
the investigative research that we desire.
Well, I know that they did like when new people are invited to the Academy. I think press releases go out because I remember reading that Michael Grayaz from York. Oh, none of you went to York, did you?
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
know Michael Gray Eyes though.
Yeah, Michael. I remember
Yeah.
reading that Michael Greyeyes was invited to join the academy, and like his name was on the
Nice.
list. There were a bunch of people. So I guess maybe if you pay attention to those lists over like the last years, kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
It's Hollywood's great mystery. Oh,
Oh,
maybe
and
only
Lisa,
Chris Waterhouse.
very quickly, I want to mention with your Mubi subscription, you can watch all of Justine Trier's, like maybe not all, but she has some of her early short films on there, and her last movie called Sybil. Do you know about Sybil?
No, I don't.
It's a movie that Sandra Hüller's in. I think she's a supporting actress in it, and that's on Mubi. You can stream it. She made it right before Anatomy, so
That's
you
what I'm
go.
watching tomorrow night.
watch Sybil
I'll watch
on
Sybil.
Mubi. I'm not getting paid by Mubi, by the way. But if they want to give me
I
a
love
subscription-
Mubi.
They want it, baby.
Listen, I know this. We're not sponsored by Movie, but Movie should sponsor Teacup for One.
yes,
But
I
like,
agree.
it is
No,
a
what this
great
is,
subscription
cut this-
service.
Yep. So
It
is
is awesome. Pardon?
I'm not familiar with this subscription service.
It's
Well,
Mubi, M-U-B-I. It's like if you had a cold and we're trying to say the word movie. It's movie.
Like
Movie.
we were saying
Mo-
movie.
Movo.
I was so confused. Okay, movie.
No, yeah, mubi.com. I don't know if it feels. I literally only got it because I wanted to watch this French bisexual movie that was like only
Porn.
available.
You wanted to watch porn.
Are you talking about Dreamers? Are you talking about Dreamers? I love that movie.
No, it's called
She
the.
got you there.
No, Alex. No, it's called Passengers, and it's with the guy who voices Paddington. He's in a supporting
Yeah, Ben
role.
Whishaw.
I love
No.
Ben Whishaw.
And you see a lot of his body, his naked body.
Ben
No,
Wishaw's body.
So Paddington
Anyway.
the Bear or Ben Whishaw?
It's the guy who voiced Paddington.
Okay, but not the bear. I thought you meant you see a lot of the bear's body. I
You
got
see
No,
a lot of
no,
Paddington Bear's
no, you-
body in Paddington 3.
He takes the
coming
raincoat
this
off.
Christmas.
Hello. No, anyway, I highly recommend Passengers. I think it's a really great movie on like relationships. And that's how Mubi got me, because I just wanted to watch that one movie, and then you see their entire catalog, and it's just this beautiful global masterpiece of movies.
Look at it right now. They have like what I didn't expect it to be this varied. Like there's The Godfather, but then there's Drive My Car and 400 Blows. And
How much is the subscription?
$16 a month.
Mm.
oh god, Persona's there. Oh Ben, you weren't in you weren't in my film class. Did you have to watch Persona in your
I
class?
did have to watch Persona in Film Art.
10
yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, so we had to have our film theory classes, like the densest, most like kind of like conceptual stuff, and they were at 8:30 in the morning. And
Oh,
it
it was
was like, and there
8:30.
was and it would go from 8:30 to 11:30. And there was one class where someone stood up and was like, I can't do this anymore. And they started yelling at the prof. And then the TA was crying. I wasn't there. I slept in that morning. But I went to the tutorial, and everyone was I was like, hey guys. And everybody was super like stoic and sad. And my TA was like, what happened this morning in film theory can never happen again. There were all these arguments, like they were like, how can you expect us to watch Laura Mulvey's Riddles of the Sphinx at 8:30 in the morning? We're not awake. And then the professor would be like,
Just go
get
to
a
sleep
coffee.
like a normal person.
Get a
Don't be
coffee.
big
Oh my
stink
gosh.
about it.
Your year was so much more meaning. Like we seemingly watched the same films, but your class was
Yes.
more.
It broke people in my year, Matt. I totally missed it. Like I was so oblivious.
Oh, I
Because
mean, well, Riddles of the
Persona-
Sphinx broke all of us, but
Yeah, that's it's a tough one to get your head around that early. But anyway,
It is. Has anyone else seen Riddles of the Sphinx?
No.
I've seen Mysteries of the Sphinx, but that's a documentary.
About the
probably
Sphinx.
about a literal Sphinx, which Riddles of the Sphinx I don't
Ooh,
believe
Seven
was.
Oh, is this like an
Here.
Oedipus thing?
I want to see Seven.
It might have been Matt. I can't remember because I never saw it. I was supposed to watch it, but I do know that there's like a bunch of 360-degree,
That's
Camera
all Riddles
pan.
of the Sphinx.
and that's
is.
all it is. It's like very long, slow.
It's the original bullet time.
pans.
It
Yeah,
was very, yeah. I think it's 13. It's 13 360-degree pans, and each one probably takes 5 minutes. It's very slow, and it's just showing the most mundane domestic settings. And then at the very end, you get to watch a little puzzle where like little metallic globs go through a puzzle until finally they meet in the middle. And that was apparently Laura Mulvey's way of saying you wanted a conventional narrative of one thing meets another and then you get a resolution. Here it is, blobs in a puzzle. And so it was kind of
What year is this from?
I love that we're talking
Sounds
about
very
the
like
riddles of the Sphinx
mid-80s.
on.
This
Yeah,
sounds
although-
very
Yeah,
like
it's
yeah,
it's
like new
potentially my
age.
least favorite film I watched in all of film school. But I love Laura Mulvey's essay, Visual Pleasure Narrative Cinema. That's a great essay.
Great essay. Unfortunately, Riddles of the Sphinx didn't get nominated for any Oscars.
Wonder why.
But have any alt films ever been nominated for Oscars?
I'm sure they have.
Like in terms
I
of
don't know,
like
though.
a feature film that's like experimental.
Yeah.
I'm
The
sure. There's stuff that's probably not super conventionally narrative that's gotten like, I don't know. That's a good question.
Come on, the
I,
art.
Oh,
I
I
know like
wasn't too far off. Riddles of the Sphinx is 1977.
silent film.
Oh,
nice.
2010.
Same year as Star Wars.
Late
They were probably
70s.
playing next to each other in the multiplex.
Imagine accidentally walking into the Riddles of the Sphinx.
Just like how my grandparents accidentally went to see Johnny English with Mr. Bean, and they didn't mean to walk into Johnny English, and then they came out and they were like, "We had a great time at Johnny English."
That's amazing. Also, this lineup on Mubi is really good. I'm still browsing the catalog.
Yeah, highly recommend. Hey, if I think I have like a discount code. If you want to?
I kind of do.
Yeah.
Old Boy, Passion of Joan of Arc from 1928.
There it
Yes.
is, baby.
Viggo
Mortensen
movie.
himself came to the TIFF Bell Lightbox and presented that film. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, he was like, I want to show Joan of Arc, Passion of Joan of Arc. And it was awesome.
Rightly so, and rightly so. I'm getting distracted by all
I
these.
took us way
Sorry.
on a tangent. I'm
So
sorry.
sorry, I know.
Let's talk about Ken. Let's talk about the Ken number because everyone in the comments,
The Ken number was the best thing they've done in years.
like, can the Ken number win
In
an Emmy
years.
for something? I feel like it needs to get.
It can. I think the Oscars is and can be nominated for
Performance,
awards
like
at
as
the
a
Emmys.
I love that.
as a
Yeah.
production, yeah, because it's up there with like the Grammys will be nominated, and then like reality television shows will be nominated for other stuff.
Like everything, the direction, the choreography, like
Yeah.
that whole sequence.
It was perfect.
Win
And
everything.
This is a lot of hype for me.
I
who
have a
haven't
lot of-
seen it.
You know?
No.
I have a
Oh
lot.
my
It's 3
God.
minutes, Alex. It's so. It's
Oh,
the
I'm
best
Alex-
I'm gonna watch it probably.
Alex
I
went
really-
with the ignorance is bliss approach to this episode this week.
Okay.
I want to
Okay.
tell you a couple things about it that I learned in an article because
Dude.
you don't know these things.
Okay.
I
So
know
Gosling was really nervous, which is crazy
Lisa
because he
wrote the
looks like
article.
super confident. He's just so smooth doing the whole number.
I have
And he-
insight on that. I have insight on that. Sorry to interrupt.
It's just
while
bait
we're here.
blockers.
This is the thing that I've heard from about Ryan Gosling. As confident as he is on screen, I have a friend who was his teacher, or yeah, basically, my friend's dad was his teacher in Burlington when he was in like middle school or whatever, and he already had a film TV career.
Ryan
Except
Gosling
he's-
was in school in
Yeah.
Burlington.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling. He's
Is he
from Burlington.
Canadian?
Yeah, he's Canadian.
He grew up in
So-
Florida.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Gosling, like this,
Yeah, he was on
my-
Mickey
maybe I
Mouse
did.
Club by then.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse Club. And Are You Afraid of the Dark? So my friend's dad tried to convince him to audition for the play because he knew that Ryan liked acting. And Ryan seemingly was really nervous because the element of live performance made him uncomfortable because he was so accustomed to being able to perform in a safe space where, like, if he gets it wrong, he could do it again. So anyway, that just is interesting to me that
He
he's
still feels like this, I think, to some degree. And he was nervous that no one would stand up for it. And he wanted it to feel, the whole thing was conceived that it was supposed to feel like a rock concert. Like they wanted people up. They wanted people on their phones to the
Pulling
point
out
where
their shirts
they
and
showed a
bras
thing
and
but
whipping
during
them
the
on stage.
commercial break that was
That
like,
would have made a
don't
very
be afraid to
good
pull
Oscars.
your phones out during the song, like, because they wanted people to be excited about it. Everything was like kind of like they only rehearsed it like twice or something because everybody's schedules were sort of different.
Very
they didn't-
highly choreographed. for
Very
two
highly
rehearsals.
choreographed.
Jeez.
You get a Gentlemen Prefer Blondes homage, which
Oh,
is
I love
awesome.
Yeah.
I
You get
love that.
Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Also, I'm so happy his other co-stars were
Yes,
in it with him.
all
it
the
wasn't
other
just him
Kens.
and like rando dancers entirely.
Mm-hmm. They knew that they were gonna have Emma Stone sing a little part of it. He said, I need Greta and Margot and Emma like all in the front because I want to be behind Margot Robbie when I start, and it's perfect. And he gives his sister the hat, And then he's like, I want Emma to sing a little part of it because they kind of have a little history.
Oh, yeah.
And they just nailed every part of it. And it was just like this electrifying. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was so good.
How much was taken from the film's
None.
choreography and
Nothing.
nothing?
No.
Interesting.
It was, like,
Okay,
it was
that's
fully,
intriguing.
like choreographed as like Marilyn Monroe's "Gentlemen Prefer Blondes" number.
Yeah.
And Ryan Gosling as Marilyn Monroe with the gloves and everything. Like
Yeah.
it was.
Oh.
Totally different choreography from the
Jeez.
movie.
But
Yeah.
what I
Did you-
loved also, like the added detail that he was wearing the same outfit that he'd worn all night, but suddenly in pink, was so
Yeah.
magical. It was, like
Looked great in the pink suit. There's a did you guys see the video that Scorsese's daughter took of Martin Scorsese watching the Barbie song? Like, I'm just Ken. And he's going like, ha, ha, ha. He loves it. Everybody loves it and that's, I think, the moments that, because it's so easy with the Oscars as a whole to kind of just make fun of the whole thing because it's all kind of BS and it's all kind of
Yes.
like pageantry. But you also don't want to be like, you don't want to like shit all over it. Like, you want it to like genuinely celebrate
Yeah.
the movies. And I
It's
think
still a
that
good time.
his
regardless.
exactly, and his
And-
commitment to it, and the whole everybody, the choreography, the like everyone who put that together, I feel like that's the spirit that we want when we watch the Oscars. Like, we want
Yeah.
to like celebrate the movies in this kind of fun, it's a little bit ironic, but it's mostly sincere. Like, and people just like gave themselves over to it, and I was like, this is what I want to see. I thought it was awesome.
Cool.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting premise, like to take something that presumably a lot of people I really enjoyed from the movie, to take a product, the number, the I'm Just Ken, the song and the the dance video, if you will,
Mhm.
and to really, seemingly it sounds like flip the script in a sense, like flip the script, do something totally different with it. Aside from I don't know, did they do anything interesting with the like instrumentals, music, melody lines, or that was pretty much the same?
There was a guitar solo.
Slash was there.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
more or less, it was the same song.
It was more or less like they
Okay.
cut out the big dance break.
They didn't
so
make it like a jazz number as opposed to what it was. Okay, so but still, but just have like a totally distinct and unrelated sort of visual choreography, aesthetic to it is that's an interesting premise. I wonder if the hype and that knowledge will push me towards the not hopping on this bandwagon.
I feel like much
but-
like you with Zone of Interest, I think you having this knowledge will make you appreciate it more than you would if you just went in without the knowledge.
Maybe because maybe if I went in without the knowledge, I'd be like more surprised and therefore offended
Oh, for sure.
by like
No, I
it
think
not
you
being
do-
an exact rip
You do
from
not
the
be
movie.
offended. I think first you need to watch Marilyn Monroe's "Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend," then watch Madonna's "Material Girl" music video. That's the knowledge you need to go into this to fully appreciate.
Mhm.
And he
Hmm.
sounded so good live.
Yeah.
Like, his voice, he hit every note of it. And he's got that, like, I don't know if it's baritone, I don't know what it is. But I was
Timbre, the
that
sound
was
quality.
Sure, I know.
amazing. And, I don't even remember the Flamin' Hot Cheetos song now. The Diane
neither.
Warren Cheetos
No.
song.
I will say though, I think I know it sounds just like the recording because she's a freaking amazing singer, but the Billie Eilish performance was touching as always.
It was.
She did the song.
Yeah, she did her and Phineas. Phineas was on the piano. I'm Just Ken was phenomenal. I loved it. It was great. But like that beautiful, subtle performance that they did, Billie
Yeah.
Eilish and Phineas, I think that is one of the best like songs ever performed on that
Yeah.
stage.
Mhm.
Just because like it's a softer song. There is no performative
Yeah.
element.
Mhm.
And although the sound quality was really bad, like it wasn't the greatest, the way that she sung it, like one of the best Billie Eilish's performances ever. Like I hope she
Yeah.
has gone away and was very proud of that moment, because like to do something that I don't know, vulnerable on such a
It
big
was touching. I mean, like
So
I
touching.
cried during it for sure.
platform.
I think I've heard it too many times. I think that's the only thing. It's
I
such
told
a
you,
great
margarita.
song, and it
It's- I blame it on the
deserves the
margaritas.
win. But like my mom
Every
texted
time I
me, and she's
try.
like, I hear it every hour at work because
Yeah,
they play
they
on the
overplay
radio.
it.
And,
They
and,
overplay
and
it.
you don't want to,
It's kind of like
don't
the Lady
dilute its
Gaga
power.
song in the year of A Star Is Born.
Oh
right.
yeah, the Shallow song.
I can never
Yeah,
hear that song.
I
Too
don't know. The performance of Billie Eilish, like Billie Eilish's performance, made me rehear that song like in the as if like I heard it the first
Like a
time.
virgin.
Yeah. 'cause
And like I think the orchestration like so much different than the recording. Like
Well, when they revealed the orchestra, that was
oh, that was just so beautiful. Beautiful moments.
Dirty
at the
Rich.
Oscars.
Yeah.
Mwah.
She's won 2 Oscars now, Billie Eilish, and she's like 15.
I
She's
know.
like 23.
yeah.
No,
But,
she's only like 20, I think.
But she's won 2
21 maybe.
Oscars.
She's
So
a Dentist double winner.
She's a winner. Yeah, she's who you want to write an original song if you have a movie. She did
Again,
a really good job.
I think we talked about this the last episode during the predictions, but like her talking about the way that she writes music is an art form in itself, and like everyone should go watch that. I think it was a Vanity Fair episode, like YouTube video, where she's talking about getting the idea from Greta and then writing it. Like brilliant artist, brilliant storyteller.
I think last year had better songs. You know, you had the song from RRR. You had the song that Lady Gaga wrote for Top Gun Maverick. And both of those are bangers. I still play those songs. I still play the entire soundtrack of RRR, driving down the Gardner and stuff. Oh my God.
I feel that. That's a bumpin'
the-
movie.
I really got to watch it still.
The live dance that they did for the
Oh,
Oscars
yeah.
was
That's, yeah. Well,
spectacular.
and the dance in the movie, too. But yeah.
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 You know, they shot that scene in Ukraine. Did I mention that last week before the
I don't
war
remember,
started?
but
They shot that scene at a castle in Ukraine.
Wow.
Before shit really hit the fan.
nice.
Yeah.
Before they shot Mariupol, the documentary, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did that one win? Can't
Yeah.
That did win. That was one of my few points. I did
Well,
really
speaking of
bad.
winners,
when are we gonna get to the
Yeah,
the
speaking
score
of
breakdown?
one, reveal
No
it.
one.
I have it. Hold on. Okay,
Wait.
wait. So, yeah, how does everyone think they placed?
I know. I did.
I did bad.
Yeah, I know I didn't win, but I
My
think I might have
prediction
done
after was like
okay.
probably Jeanette probably won. That's my honest.
No, I
guess.
think Anna won.
I'm thinking. Anna.
Yeah, I know
think
I
Anna
didn't win
won.
because I didn't guess. I didn't do Oppenheimer in a lot of places where I should have done Oppenheimer. 'cause
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
thinking
You guys
about it.
things on
In
stuff I
last
didn't get
place-
4 things.
in last
for.
place with 3 points, our good friend Lauren.
Oh.
Oh,
Yes, Lauren knew. Lauren said,
Yeah,
"I'm
Lauren was
purposely not
voting with his
voting."
heart.
Yeah, he was like, I don't want to vote for the
He
thing.
voted for it with his heart last year, and he won last year.
Yeah.
Lauren, his heart
But
was
did he-
with everything everywhere
But hold
else.
on. There's
So correct.
he didn't vote with his heart. He did not vote with his heart. You know, he followed his heart to not vote for things. He was exclusionary with his voting strategy.
I think both are true because his heart was with.
No,
other movies.
yeah. I'm just saying that like he specifically, he seemingly lost points, if you will, by proclaiming at least twice that he would not vote for anything like Oppenheimer or whatever.
So
Yeah.
next, in 7th place with 9 points, we have Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it, guys.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Then, oh wait,
Just then.
we have 3 ties for
For 6th.
second and third,
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. Vince is 7th, and then we have
and then we have ties for first,
For-
second, and third.
first. Okay. So
Should
there's
we
no
still say
4th,
Lauren
5th, or
is in
6th.
8th place and Vince is in 7th, and then
If there are ties, I feel like they should be 5th and 4th.
yeah,
but-
you're right. That's what they are. All
All
right.
right.
So then tied for 3rd place.
For the bronze
Oh,
medal.
wow, I really did that badly. Okay, Alex, it's us.
We're 3 people?
Oh wait, hold on. No, wait, I'm wrong. There's
I'm
No,
second.
Here.
no, Alex, we're tied for second last.
I demand
Second
Wait a
I'm
minute.
still lost
Wait a minute.
right now.
Vince did better than us?
Looking at my tallies, Alex, I thought we both had 12. No, we both have 7. So
Okay.
Vince beat us.
Okay.
It was
What?
Lauren.
No, you didn't win.
No, you didn't win.
Yeah.
All right. So Lauren is 5th. You and I are 4th.
Vince
Okay,
is
okay.
3rd.
Okay.
Tied for
Third.
2nd.
What?
Here we go.
Vince
for
got the
second.
bronze.
With 10 points each, we have Lisa and Jeanette.
No. I want to recount. I thought I voted. I got 11.
You got
I
11?
got 11.
Maybe you're in
We
second.
did-
But didn't you
count.
want?
It's possible I gave up after Oppenheimer won Best Picture.
It's possible you.
I might have.
That's the last award.
I wrote down 10. Although maybe you do have 11. Hold on. Let me count in my Lisa votes. 1, 2,
Got
3, 4,
2, 3.
Do you have the comparison? Are you?
Yeah, I got 11.
6,
I got-
7,
And-
8.
I want- I-
Lisa had Anatomy of a Fall was a yes. Adapted screenplay, you said Oppenheimer. That was a no. Visual effects was a yes for Godzilla.
Yep.
Sound was a no because that was Oppenheimer.
Correct.
Live action short
Sound-
film was a no because you said Night of Fortune with me. Should have won. Animated short, you said Letter to a Pig. That was a no. Production design, you said Barbie. That was a no.
Correct.
Best
Best Picture?
picture, you said Barbie, right?
No, I said Oppenheimer.
Oh, I wrote down Barbie.
I
Okay.
We
would've
do
used
have
that
we do have a recording.
Hey, we do. We could look back at the recording.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
And I know I got Best Picture wrong. So
Actually, now you know what? I might have said Barbie as like a stick it
For
to
the
man.
meme.
Okay, you know what? I am privileged to share this spot with Jeanette. So you know what? I'll take
second
it.
place it is.
I'll
Which
take it.
means
You're the
Which
Lily
means
Gladstones. You're the Lily
we have
Gladstones.
With Lily
we have a
Gladstone.
cutesy couple in
We have a
first
cutesy
place,
couple
then,
in
yes.
first with 17 points each for Ben and Anna for
But
Banana.
I tried to vote because I was like, we cannot have the same.
Oh, I know,
ballot.
and it still happened.
And
Anna
it still
was
was a tie.
Anna
Yep,
was in the lead
you
for
just
most
had-
of the night,
Mhm.
and then there was like 1 or 2 categories where she lost the lead and you caught up, and then it eventually evened out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Well,
I know,
Should I
and so-
text her? And
What
let her
were the
know?
difference? What were the different votes? What did Ben and Anna differ on? Because there wasn't a lot. Most of it,
Anna
I
got
remember. I seem to
Anna got
recall
her
most of it was
lead
same.
towards the beginning by being the only person to vote for animated short for the John and Yoko movie. And then
I'm texting her to let her know. Yeah, she got John and Yoko. I put something different, I think, for that one. I got that wrong.
John and Yoko was in her favor, as well as what else? Now, a lot of people said 20 Days in Maripool, so that wasn't it.
Medieval.
I got.
American Fiction was a big one for Anna, but also Ben and myself. Godzilla -1, even though Ben said that too. So where were the discrepancies? Where was Anna?
Well, so
This is what I'm
short.
curious about.
Well,
Uh,
I'm assuming it was only
remember-
like a very few, like 2.
Well, you
or-
just said that you hadn't talked about them before. You didn't say you intentionally
yeah.
made your
You know what
answers
it
Yeah,
short.
yeah. They
was
just
live action
separately
short.
chose.
because Ben
It was
voted
just
for
one
Ben
one
Stiller.
point different.
Yeah, and
like,
Anna said, "Oh no, well,
Yeah.
red, white."
Oh,
and
because I said
It'd have
Henry
to be at least
Sugar.
2 things,
Yeah.
right?
blue.
Well, that was why we didn't look at each other's things, because I was like, if we come up with the same ballot, like there's no
It's not
fun
fun.
in that at all.
Oh no, for sure. And there was a point when there were like 5 categories left where you two at that point were tied, and then I looked forward at what like was still to be announced, and you had the same votes for everything else. So I knew like 2/3 of the way through the night it's going to be a tie. So I had to figure out, how do we identify the ultimate winner? I thought, can we go back to who won the most games over the course of this? But you both
Oh yeah.
won 1 each.
It should be based on
it's
who
not
won
fair,
the
'cause
most important
she's-
categories.
Who was on more shows, Matt?
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah, Ben wins.
I'm just joking.
Well, then I thought,
Who
well,
was-
this is what I've kind of come up with, is that I looked at the predictions. Nothing
Uh-huh.
anyone predicted actually happened, but
Yes,
Ben
it did.
was closest. Oh, that's true. That's true.
My prediction of a senior moment
Your moment.
happened with Al Pacino. Okay.
You're right. You're absolutely right. My
Bonus
eyes say
point.
Oppenheimer.
So bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, so then that brings Lisa to second because bonus point
And brings Jeanette down.
and brings Jeanette down. Lisa, you're officially in second place now.
And
Anna
Vince down
says
too.
Justice for Lily. That's
No more
Anna's
bronze
vote.
medal
I
for
just said, I
Vince.
think you won. I think we tied.
But now,
And-
Ben, you did make a prediction based around the dog, and the dog was a vital character for the ceremony.
What
and
was
he
his
Yeah, but
prediction?
he didn't hump anybody's
He didn't
leg.
hump
hump-
Cillian Murphy's leg, but he did pee on Matt Damon's Walk of Fame star.
He
I thought you were
peed
gonna
on
say,
Matt Damon's Walk of Fame star at the
Well,
end.
I feel like a crude gesture coming from the dog is kind of in the ballpark of your prediction.
Sure. I mean,
Yes. Yeah.
Anna's here, you guys. She's commenting.
Anna is here.
Yeah.
Anna,
There
you
she
and
is.
Ben tied for first. We're determining what external factors could
The tie break. How can we break the tie?
How do we break the tie?
To nominate the one true, whatever ruler of the
The
prediction.
Maldive.
yeah the Muad'Dib, the Lisan Gaib,
Well, who's
the
Who's to
Kwisatz Haderach.
because how dare you?
Oh,
That's
how
what
to
we-
spell Kwisatz Haderach. That's how we.
yeah,
How
I
to
remember that
spell
game. We
I
did
was
that
more
before.
confident in my wrong guesses. So Ben should.
I think. Listen, is it the same
Hubris.
prize, Matt, where there's a shirt
You
involved?
get a shirt, Ben.
So we share the panda shirt. Like we'll both wear the panda shirt because we both can fit in it.
It's
So it's perfect for us. So we can share a prize. You
You
know?
can.
Yeah.
but that
If
but
you
that
want.
spits in the face of the game.
Spitting in the face.
We need, just like the Oscars, there can only be one winner.
Well,
I mean,
there
I guess
was-
that's
You
not
know what?
true.
I win.
There was a
Ben-
tie that 1 year.
Ben, you and Anna should duel to the death. That's what
Yes.
you should do.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The last
Yeah.
duel.
You know what? You two should stand on opposite sides of a room and see who the cat goes to.
I was just
We've
about
done
to
this
say,
before.
See whose shoulders the cat.
Who
goes.
won?
Who won?
Well, it
Nobody.
was kind of. It's hard to explain. 'Cause basically, we were locked in with Abby's energy,
Yeah.
and we were like, Abby, where's Anna? And she would walk to Anna, and we go, okay, where's Ben? And then she would walk to me, and we go, okay, but where's Anna? And she knows more than I knew that she knew, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
but Anna, because Anna's not here, I don't know how to determine
No,
that. Matt,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you want to do.
No,
I'm
you
good.
know what? You know what? I think you two should mutually decide which shirt you want.
Okay, all right.
And,
That's
and
what
then
we'll
you
do.
can just tell me that it was Ben's choice as the winner, but
Sure.
decide together. Decide and then let me know. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Uh,
Anna's in the chat is reminding. So we went to a place called Chillax in Toronto where you make your own. Hold on a second. Your
That's
own
Saw this
custom
your
on
rug.
rug.
my
Yes, I was so
list?
jealous. It looked like fun.
I made a lighthouse rug.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't really look like a lighthouse. It kind
Yeah,
of messed it
It
up.
Wow.
does. That's so cool.
Well,
Is that
Anna
Latch
made it-
Hook? I love Latch Hook.
Anna made a Snoopy, and Abby picked the Snoopy as her favorite. But she'll lay on this one sometimes, though. We also saw at Chillax. There's a Netflix show called Never Have I Ever, which I've never seen. But I guess it's kind of a big show. And the lead from that show, the girl was talking to Anna through the whole thing. She'd come over and be like, hey, your rug looks so cool. And she was so nice. And Anna's like, I feel like I know her. And I might have seen her on this show.
Wait.
And she was
what?
also in Turning Red, Matt. She's a voice as one of the friends in Turning Red.
Oh my gosh, I think I know who it is. It's the one who's from Mississauga, right?
Yeah. She was at Chillax when we made the rugs. And she
Oh my
loved
God.
Anna's Snoopy
Wait,
rug.
was she just making a rug, or does she work there to help?
No,
make-
she was making a rug with her
Oh,
friend.
damn it! So if I go make a rug, she won't be there probably. Unless
You
she's
never
there.
know. She might come back. And she was at the Oscars, too, which is kind of cool.
I'm sure she was. I love her. She's from my city. She's from Mississauga, and she's in a Pixar movie.
Mississauga Pride.
Yeah, Mississauga Pride. We love the saga. Yeah, Lisa knows. I think
My
it's just-
hometown.
Yes.
There we go. We love the saga.
Yeah, and
The
Simu
saga
Liu.
continues.
We don't love Simu
We don't love Simu in this house.
Worst Scarborough accent ever.
Lu.
What? Did he do a Scarborough accent?
Yeah, no, there was a moderately viral clip of him doing someone asked him to do a Scarborough man's accent, and it was
What does that
it was
even
not
sound
good.
like? What is
Yo,
this?
dog, what are you even saying, guy? Oh, so you're supposed to do it
So
like
it's
that.
Albertan.
Albertan.
Well, anyway, congratulations, Ben. Let's go to
Thank you.
tonight's game. I'm very proud of tonight's game.
And Anna.
And Anna, sorry. And
Congrats,
Anna.
Anna.
Congrats, Banana.
Woohoo!
Tonight's game, it's very different. It was kind of thrown together at the very last minute by me, and it might be horrible, but I think it will also be very funny for me. So I'm not going to give you really any context for how this is going to work. But before we start, what am I going to write on? I'll write on this. Let me just make my little chart for who all of you are. We have Ben.
Wow, it took a while.
We have Jeanette. We have Vince. We have Lisa.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
Are they muted?
I will not tell you why I need you to do this, but I need each of you to pick a decade between the 1930s to the 2010s. And ideally, there's no repeats. So who wants to go first? Who wants to have first pick? Lisa, pick your decade, please.
1950.
50.
That was what I was gonna pick.
Hey, Alex, you can go next.
1990.
90.
Oh, screw you.
Okay, so that's 90 through to 99. Okay, Jeanette,
The 80s then.
80s. Ben,
70s.
God damn it.
70s. Vince,
Let's go the 40s. That was a nice decade, right? Nothing
Right.
bad happened.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to get a timer going just on my end here. How much time do we want? Like, I know you don't know what you're doing yet, but like 60 seconds, does that feel right for audience engagement?
Sure, 60 seconds is a nice sweet spot because you get a decent chunk of change for the competitors, but also it doesn't drag on too much
60
for
seconds.
the audience.
All
I
right.
think 60 seconds is generally
From this
good.
point on, there will be no writing. I need all of you to have your hands in the screen so I could see that no one's Googling anything while other people are putting in their guesses.
Alex.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, there we go. So, and from this point on, your hands need to stay in the frame until you have had your turn to go. So,
Oh my God.
each of you will have 1 minute. We'll go one at a time. You have 1 minute to name as many best picture winning films from your decade as possible.
Oh,
So
I
here we
don't
go.
know.
We're going to start with Vince from the 1940s. Vince, your time starts now. Name as many movies from best picture from 1940 through to 1949 as possible.
we're gonna do Citizen Kane.
No.
We're talking best pictures.
Only best picture, yes.
Only best pictures
Only Best
on Golden Pond.
No, that was the 70s.
Nosferatu. The Big Easy. Let's do Barfly with Mickey Rourke. What else? We got All Is Quiet on the Western Front. Come on. Come on. How about Enter the Dragon? I would have said that if I got to pick 1970s. What else? God damn, this is
Your
a lot.
time's up. You got none. I'm sorry.
Thank
Vince. You would have accepted Gone with the Wind because it won in 1940. I know it's from 1939. Rebecca, How Green Was My Valley, Mrs. Minerva, Casablanca, Going My Way, The Long Weekend, The Best Years of Our Lives, Gentleman's Agreement, or Hamlet. Lisa, it's your turn. 1950s. Go.
All About Eve. That's did not win. Postman Always Rings Twice. I think was in the 40s. I'm gonna King Lear, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Hamlet. I don't know.
12th Night.
And Alfred Hitchcock, Birds. That was the 60s, I think. Psycho, Vertigo, Joan Crawford, Mommy Dearest. No. No, Baby Jane was in the 60s. I don't know. John Wayne stuff. John Wayne stuff. No. I got nothing. I give up.
3, 2, 1. You got 1 point for All About Eve.
Hey.
Oh, they
really?
won for best
Yeah,
picture.
apparently they won. They won. So
Wow.
you were so close with some of them though. So we were looking for All the King's Men, All About Eve. You got that. An American in Paris, Greatest Show on Earth, From Here to Eternity, On the Waterfront, Marty, Around the World in 80 Days, Bridge on the River Kwai, Gigi. Yep, there we go. All right.
Wow.
Really?
GG.
You're leading with 1 point, Lisa.
Wow.
Nice. Okay. Who was 40s, 50s? No one said 60s. Ben, it's your turn with the
Oh,
70s.
God.
Oh,
I don't know what one. Okay, I'm bad at Best Picture winners. Okay, I know Godfather and Godfather Part 2. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I'm gonna guess some other ones. The French Connection, Conversation, Rocky, Network. That's not right.
Oh, Network's good.
Oh God, I'm blanking on movies right now. Star Wars didn't win. What won that year? Let's see. Oh God, Matt, this is too much. It's too scary.
This is
Yeah, this is tough. This is not.
Yeah. What else won in the 70s? Martha. She won in the 70s. Okay.
Martha, help.
Help! No, don't help. That's not
Lifeline.
fair. No lifelines. 1978, 1979.
Smoky.
And that is your time, Ben.
That's
you
all
got
I got.
5. You got 5, Ben.
I got half of them.
What?
Remember
That's
them.
Okay.
amazing.
So we were
Ben's
looking
gonna
for,
win.
I know, me too.
we're looking
You
for
might as well
Midnight
just-
Cowboy, Platoon,
Oh, Midnight
French
Cowboy,
Connection,
Platoon.
Godfather, The Sting, Godfather
Sting.
2, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Rocky, Annie Hall, and
Annie
The Deer
Hall.
Hunter.
Annie Hall.
Right. Annie
Oh.
Hall and the Deer Hunter. Those are the other ones. Man, those are so now they feel so obvious, and I'm like,
None of mine were obvious.
5 out of I wouldn't have gotten like any in the 50s or
That's why I didn't
40s,
tell
so-
anyone what you were doing. You just had to pick your favorite decade.
Now I realize I should have picked the 2000s because nothing I watched in the 80s was an Oscar-winning film, other than my favorite one, which will be the only one I get.
And your time starts now.
Amadeus. I know that one. And Back to the Future, that didn't win it. Yeah. What else? Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Yeah, nothing I watched in the 80s. Star Wars didn't get it. Godfather 3 didn't get it. I don't think. Godfather 3? Was that one? Let's see. Basic Instinct. That didn't win.
Nice.
Indiana Jones, that didn't get it. The Goonies, that didn't get it.
These are all great.
Oh, no, Evil Dead, that didn't get it. Oh my God, I'm blanking on 80s dramas. What's that one? What's that Stanley Kubrick one? What's that Fancy Pants one? I can't remember the
Eyes
name
Wide
of it.
Shut. Barry Lyndon or
No,
whatever. Barry
no,
something.
Barry, that's it. Barry Lyndon.
Oh, that's your
Thanks,
time. You
Alex.
got 1 point for Amadeus.
Love Barry Lyndon. though.
Amadeus,
Barry
Amadeus.
Lyndon's so good.
Other options. We have Kramer
Amadeus.
versus Kramer, Ordinary People, Chariots of Fire, Gandhi, Terms of Endearment, Amadeus,
yeah.
Out of Africa, Platoon, not to be confused with Platoon from 1971. That's confusing me. The Last
Yeah.
Emperor, Rain Man, or Drive. No, not that one. Okay.
That's why. Oh my God! See, when you said the thing earlier, I thought Platoon. I was like, I could have swore Platoon. Was
Oh,
in
Matt,
the
you
80s.
said Patton. That's what I just looked it up because I was
Oh,
like,
is it Patton? I thought it was
Platoon's
Platoon.
Oh, yeah, I was
Patton.
like,
I was
I
thinking
said Platoon. I was
Platoon.
like,
You're
it
right.
must
That
have
is how you
been
pronounce
79.
that word. It's Patton.
because I was like, Platoon. I thought was an '80s movie.
I
But
was like,
forgot
oh
that one
gosh, it
Best
must have been
Picture.
79.
Alex, it's up to you now. 1990s. Your time starts now.
Unfortunately, I feel I will squander this, but Titanic maybe, Shawshank Redemption maybe, Pretty Woman probably not, but let's throw her in the ring. The Notebook's probably like a 2000s film and probably didn't get Best Picture. What am I thinking of? Lost in Translation maybe. I don't know. Fish Called Wanda maybe. Probably not though. These are just movies that maybe were from the 90s that I'm thinking of. What else is I mean, it was Matrix, I think, was 99, but probably didn't win anything Best Picture wise, but it should have because it's the best movie ever, but probably not. Shakespeare in Love or something like that. Romeo and Juliet, why not? There's some version of those movies that maybe were in the 90s and maybe won something. No, I have one more.
Okay.
Apocalypse Now.
That's the 70s. isn't
Yeah, there you go. Probably.
it? Okay. You got two, Alex. You got two.
Yeah, Titanic and Shawshank Redemption or something.
Shakespeare in Love.
Shakespeare in Love. Woo!
Yeah. So 1990s, we have Driving Miss Daisy, Dances with Wolves, Silence of the Lambs, Unforgiven, Schindler's List,
Silence of the Lambs.
Forrest Gump,
Schindler's List.
Braveheart, English Patient, Titanic, Shakespeare in Love. Oh, and then American Beauty was 2000. So,
I knew you gave away the drive thing, but I
Yeah.
couldn't think of a movie with
yeah, Miss
with it.
Daisy. Driving Miss
Yeah,
Daisy.
yeah.
Then you won again.
It's confusing when it's like
Double
the 1999
winner.
movie, but
You know
it's
what?
awarded in 2000 or whatever. Yeah.
Ben, I was like the first time, I don't remember the first time I met you, but I remember I do remember,
Elvis review.
maybe it was Elvis, probably. And I remember thinking, wow, this guy is great. Like he should be on more of these episodes. And now you keep winning. And
Now you realize you were wrong.
I was wrong. No,
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
it's okay. You
But no.
deserve the win.
Thank
You're like
you,
a
but-
card counter at blackjack. Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But here's the thing: Lauren won last year, fair and square, with the prediction. So it's never, and there's a lot of these games we played through the weeks of this Oscar season that I lost, easily lost. So,
Okay.
but I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, Ben, you're officially the first like two-time Oscar winner on this channel.
Well, I'd like to thank my agent and my wife,
Publisher.
and my kids, and my
Publicist.
publicist,
Publicist,
and
rather.
God. I'd like to thank and all of you watching and this whole panel. I love talking about all these movies with you guys every year. It's a lot of fun.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Here, here.
Thank you all for another fun and successful Oscar season. Favorite marathon of the year. It can only go downhill
Woo.
from here, but we're going to try to climb up that hill. I'm excited.
Hey, only
for
4
that.
more years till the 100th.
Exactly. Oh,
Oh, you wow!
maybe by then all of us will be at the Oscars for the Teacup for One documentary. Who knows?
Can't wait.
Right?
Ooh,
Right?
Cup for all.
How it started.
and
How it's
how's it
going.
going?
So for all those watching, join us in April when we're going to start our regular movie themed marathons. The April theme is going to be Shakespeare because April is the month Shakespeare was born and died on the same day, weirdly enough. If we take it back to like Netflix's One Day, that one day would be his birthday. Isn't that
Wow.
weird? I know.
That's so sad.
I know, but kind of beautiful. No wasted time.
My grandmother also died on her birthday. So
Really?
yeah.
That's so, I personally think that's
Poetic.
That's
It's
the way to go.
neat. It's clean. It's
very
like you come
clean.
in,
exactly.
you do your business, you get out.
Unless
exactly.
you
On the same
explode,
day.
and then it's not very clean.
Yeah, true. Not the greatest. I don't think Shakespeare exploded though. So for our Shakespeare movies, we're going to be opening with Baz Luhrmann's William Shakespeare's Romeo plus Juliet. It's going to be followed up by Rafe Fiennes' Coriolanus. Then we're going to have another romance, but this one's a comedy. It's the Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson vehicle, Much Ado About Nothing. They were married at that point in time, so even more cute. And apropos for that couple, they ended up breaking up. So there you go. Because I personally don't think Benedict and Beatrice lasted beyond the end of that play. But that's just me.
Interesting.
We'll discuss that when we get there. And then we're closing it out with my personal favorite Shakespeare movie of all time, Julie Taymor's Titus. Get ready to see how gruesome the director of Lion King on stage can be when she's given a lot of money and a Shakespeare play full of blood. I'm very
Cool.
thrilled.
I
Just
kind of want to come on for that one.
Please
Not to
do, Ben.
push, but I haven't seen it in 20 years, but it's like one of my mom's favorites. is,
Yes.
Titus.
How old
my
are you,
favorite.
Ben?
I'm in my 30s. That's what I'll say.
So you
I
watched
saw it when I was 13. I was too young to see it.
You were 13? Oh my
Yeah, my mom had it on DVD, and I was like, "Can I watch this?" and she was like, "Go for it. It's good."
Ben, please join us for that discussion. I can't wait to hear
Amazing.
what you thought of it as a 14-year-old. All right. Well then, friends, it's that time. Tell everyone who you are, what you want them to know, and any closing thoughts you have on Oscar season. We'll start with Jeanette.
Hi. So I'm Jeanette. You can find me here, and you can find me on We Like Theme Parks podcast. New episodes on Thursday, and we're about to move on to the next round of our March Madness. So I'm moving from one voting to another.
I'm on tomorrow's
check that
episode.
out. Yeah, and this has been a really great Oscar season, and I didn't dislike any movies this year. It was pretty awesome. That was a pretty good feeling.
All right. Thank you, Jeanette.
Hi, I'm Ben. I love coming on this show to talk to my friends about the movies and the Academy Awards. If you want to talk to me more about this sort of thing, you can find me on, I won't call it X, on Twitter at It's Ben Gordon, Gordon.
Oh,
Same
cross.
with Instagram. And I hope to see you there. And I thought it was a great year for movies, great year for the Oscar season. And I'll see you in 2025.
Thank you, Ben. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Hi,
Hey, folks, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I'm Lisa, and you can follow me at Lisa_A_Alves. I'm currently only posting theater stuff because I'm a playwright now. Playwright right now.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I am. Follow me there. Follow me or be square. I will see you for Shakespeare Month.
woo.
Hey, guys. Hey, folks. Hello, America. My name is Vince. You might know me as the guy who made a few out-of-pocket remarks about Emma Stone last week, and I'd like to apologize because my foot has been in my mouth ever since. She did a great job. Better than Lily, apparently. So be it. It's good. Next year. I'm a little disappointed with my performance in the game tonight. You know, I've been spending the last week studying famous Oscars from history. Oscar Gamble, Oscar Peterson, Oscar Mayer, Oscar the Grouch, etc. And that was not the theme of the game. I did a bit of a Hail Mary, and it did not pan out for me.
Wait, did you actually look up famous Oscars in preparation?
Yeah, I just listed off a bunch of famous Oscars. You don't believe me?
You did.
That's
Anyway,
okay.
maybe next year, you know, when we're talking about Dune 2 cleaning up everywhere.
Ugh.
So
Or the new Kate Blanchett movie where she plays a nun.
I'm having none of that. Anyway, folks, have a good evening.
Oh, I don't know how to compete with that. Alex, how are you doing?
My wrist hurts. That was really painful. It's fine for
good.
like the first. That's not how you do it. It's
This?
you have to. So you have to you bend. You have to bend your hand at the wrist, and then you use the wrist bone
Yeah.
as like to fit in the eye socket. That's how you get the full effect.
Am I
Right,
doing
and
it?
that's how you really feel. I think so. Yeah, I'm feeling the vibe. If you feel
I
feel
do
like the
actually.
creature from Pan's Labyrinth, then
I
you're
feel
doing it.
uncomfortable, but yeah,
That's
no,
how do you think it feels?
not
all right.
great.
Yeah, well, but I just wanted to say my story
Yeah.
before I was rudely interrupted,
Of course,
which
sorry.
is apropos of the pattern of disrespect aforementioned. But yeah, like after like a minute, it starts to hurt if you're not used to leaving your wrist in this position.
Of course.
Presumably, I haven't left them long enough to acclimatize, as it were. That's not the
Yeah,
right
now you
word,
have
but
them.
it communicates the meaning.
Of course.
But yeah, so the wrist, I'm just kind of loosening the wrist, getting rid of the
Yeah.
pain.
Good. Well, I hope you get rid of the pain. I respect the commitment to the bit, so thank you. Thank you for
Well,
that.
I mean,
and
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thanks, Alex. Good times. I'll see you hopefully for Shakespeare Month, and yeah, there we are. We're good. All right. Well, have fun. Good luck. There we go. And thanks for joining us, everyone. So this has been a successful Oscar movie marathon here at Teacup for One. Once again, join us here the first Wednesday in April when we will kick off Shakespeare Month. So thrilled. There might be a trivia night before that. We'll see. I actually don't know. I think it'll happen, but we'll find out together. Yeah. Congratulations, Emma Stone. Congratulations, Cillian Murphy. Congratulations to all the Oscar winners and all the nominees, because you are all winners in all of our hearts. My name is Matt, and I have 2 degrees, and this has been the Tea Cup for One. How do you end this?